All right, still here at PAX Unplugged 2024. Right now we're sitting down with Rock Manor Games to get a little bit of a demo and a pitch on Disco Heist Laundry. Um, how's your con going so far?
So far, so good. You know, first day, still a couple days. The big day, Saturday, is left.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that's always the most tiring. And then
Yeah.
Sunday's like pretty easy.
Yeah, the kids' day is definitely a little bit easier. I will say though that while tomorrow's going to be excruciating, I'm already tired. And It's just been day one.
Yeah. So this is Disco Heist Laundry. It's basically a 1980s heist movie where each player is competing to launder the most money down in the Cayman Islands so they can retire and have the most money at the end. What you do on your turn, you have a hand of cards. The first thing you do is you play a card, do what it says, and then you can move around and tap any cards in your tableau and sort of do other free actions. You're basically trying to plan. It's very much about getting all the cards down that you need to, so you can jump on the heists that come out and rob and get the money beforehand. So you'll be playing these cards down, and then eventually what you're going to do is you're going to play your launder card, which is what's going to take your chips that you're earning by robbing and everything. This is like your potential points, and converting them into official points.
Actual points, got it.
Because as long as you hold chips, they're at risk. Other players can take them, steal them. If the cops arrest you, you've got to bribe them. They're going to take half of what you have to leave you alone. So you're going to lose a lot of those potential points you can bank. So with that, I'll sort of get into how we play the game. So each character is a little asymmetrical. So we have 4 of the same cards and 1 unique card to us.
Okay.
So I'm going to go over the cards that we all have and sort of talk about the main actions that we do. So the first action we have is Recruit. This gets you, everybody has their own private supply of meeples, or goons, if you will. And this gets them from your bank to your supply to spend.
Okay.
The tap action, or the exhaust action, is to hire. Hire is how we're going to hire new cards, new crew members to our crew.
Okay. And
they go right to your hand.
Can you tap after playing the card?
Yeah, so the first thing you do is play a card.
Yes.
Then you may tap any cards in your play area.
Got it.
Move around, or activate some passport abilities. So you can tap as many cards as you want. So obviously your first turn, there's not much to do.
Sure.
But as turns go on, you can set up for big turns, or you can sort of do medium turns as you go.
Okay.
So however you want to do it. The next action I usually go over is Boss, because Boss is how you get players onto the board. So if I boss, I could deploy 2 guys to wherever I have a piece. So that'd be here right now. This is also what increases my heat. So if you ever played like Grand Theft Auto, the more stars you have on the HUD, that's bad, right? So we both start at 0, and we're incognito mode. And until we get to 3, we can walk right through the cops.
Okay.
But after we're at 3, they'll start arresting us, whether they're on our space or adjacent spaces. So it's something you want to constantly monitor. You're going to push-pull on this heat. The boss tap action is the city shakedown. So this is where you'll activate these city tiles wherever you have a piece. So I'd go through from 1 to 20, and if I had a guy there, I'd activate it. So the nightclub would get me, a chip. The bank is even better. I can spend 3 chips to turn it into 4 points. I can bank, it's usually a 1-to-1, so it's slightly better.
Okay.
But I do get, I'm doing some illegal criminal activity
at the bank.
So you get 1 heat? Some wire fraud, so I get some heat when I do that one.
Okay.
And then at the safe house, you'd lose 1. So if you had a bunch of guys at the safe house, I could reduce heat. My heat's really high. I could activate this 3 times and really reduce it. There's also ways to get a lot, they all do different stuff, but that's where you want to activate that when you got a lot of guys in a lot of different spots, out on the board.
And you go in order from 1st to 20th?
You do, yeah, if it matters, yeah. I mean, you just look for where you have guys.
Sure.
Sometimes there's stuff where it's like spends a person.
Yes.
And it's like, if you get people ahead of time, that's fine. But if you get people down here, you can't do that one and then
Correct.
go back.
Got it.
You can't like rewind. Then there's the steal. This is what gives you the tool resource, which is you need tools for heists, and you need to spend tools to recruit people. It also gives you stealing, obviously, generates a little heat. And this is also the card that you tap to do heists.
Okay.
So to do a heist, everyone starts with a starter heist. So my starter heist is at the apartments. So if I had a person at the apartments and tap this heist card, I would then spend the resources at the top. So I would need 1 goon to spend and 0 tools. It'll give me that reward.
Okay.
And then the blue stuff are setbacks. So this is where you need to have the right crew for the job. So my guy is muscle at the start. That doesn't help me at all.
Okay.
But if I had recruited these guys to my tableau, and if I had like a safe cracker, I could tap them to avoid setting off an alarm.
Gotcha.
They could trim the things. You can also spend from your hand and completely exhaust them.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is you're going to start getting your tableau, you're going to have cards, you're going to start tapping them or leave them untapped. And then eventually you're going to need those cards back and you're going to play your launder action. And you're going to add up these numbers in your tableau. And that's the threshold you can launder. You obviously need to have the chips to do it. But, you know, I could potentially launder up to, you know, 7 here. So I could take 7 chips, get 7 points banked. And then I also get an intel. You can also spend these to get through these setbacks. They're like a wild token. You can use that resource. You know, casing the joint with intel to avoid those as well. And laundering also reduce your heat 1. And you can see at the card, it's also what returns everything to your hand. So that's how all your cards snap back to your hand.
Okay. And then when you hire from up here,
Yep.
those go
Straight to your hand.
straight to your hand.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
And they instantly refill too, you know, as you buy people.
Okay.
The only other thing that's sort of rule-wise that we've forgotten is the way movement works. Everybody has their own movement. It's on their passport, so you have 5 movement. The way movement works is you can enter, exit a building on the path. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then each block is a movement.
Got it.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Got it.
That's just how you move around.
Is there any mechanic that actually lets you thin your deck out so that you can get
No.
more optimized? Okay.
Nope.
So you have to be very careful with what you're.
Well, there's no need to thin your deck. It's not a deck builder. You're not drawing it. If you can,
You're just playing it always.
You can just never play it.
Got it.
You know, you can launder before all your cards are out. You can launder whenever you want.
Oh, okay. Makes
The last game we saw, like people were laundering really quick.
Okay.
So they would put like a couple points down, do a heist, and then launder to get that heist card back. Because by default, everyone only has 1 card to heist. That character has their special card gives them an extra heist action. But the only way you're going to get more heists is if you recruit the people that can do that.
And this game is intended for 2 to 4 players?
Yep, 2 to 4 players. Yep.
Okay. And what's the average play time?
I'd say it's 30 minutes per player.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I'm sort of shooting for.
Sure.
Some of the end game stuff, that's sort of like the only stuff I'm still fiddling with rules-wise. To maybe try to get to the end game quicker.
Yeah.
Most people get to the end game by crossing the score threshold. But this timeline, at the end of the round, once we've both taken our turns, the cops move. You always know where they're heading. They'll have a patrol destination. And this is where Cop 4 is heading. This is where Cop 2 is heading. And then the timeline moves forward. So we start with our own heist that we can work towards that no one can do, that only we can do.
Okay.
But then public heists start entering. And we'll mark those with these things. So at the safe house, you know, next round this will move forward. And there's at the laundromat. And if we don't do them, the window of opportunity closes. They're pushed off.
Okay.
But as you do them, as there's holes, they'll fill in as the timeline goes. They won't push anything off. You know, so if we had 3 heists here, you know, and I did this one, then next round, this one just fills in here. It doesn't push this one off, so it's still active. As we launder money, we'll pass things, and the police will start cracking down. They'll set up checkpoints. They'll upgrade from patrol guys to patrol cars, start moving more. They move 2 by default, then 3, then 4. And they'll start arresting people as our heat crosses certain thresholds and sort of cleaning up what's going on in the city.
Okay.
But that's basically the whole game.
And then, not to put any pressure, but what's the tentative release date? What is it that you're shooting for release-wise?
So I would say we're shooting for like Q3 on crowdfunding, which means we could potentially have the game released at PAX Unplugged next year.
Okay, awesome.
But if we miss that, we'd probably release it at like Origins or something.
Okay, sounds good. All right, that's great. Thank you for the time.
Yeah. That's basically everything, at least now. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And until next time, bye-bye.
Wait, don't go. Hold on. Ooh, all right, sorry. Hey, if you like what you just saw, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on how to plays, live plays, reviews, and unboxings, and all the tabletop goodness we've got coming up. All right, I mean, now you can go.